Hi, this is Josh, and this is the Amateur Reader. I just wanted to say thank you if you're returning from my first video. There was a lot of people that left some really nice comments, a lot of other booktubers that were very encouraging, and I just wanted to say thank you. Today, I just wanted to discuss some of the books I've read in the past month or so. It's only been 2 books, 2.5 books. I'm halfway through The Will of the Many, but I'll start with the first book I read, and that was Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. This was a great book to kind of get me back into reading. It's really wholesome. Honestly, not something I thought I would really enjoy. Like, I guess, I don't know if this would fall in the category slice of life, but it's really, yeah, just wholesome. I think the punchline is a novel of high fantasy with low stakes, and I think that rings true. I mean, you're dealing with orcs and I don't know the official term, but mouse people and succubus and all sorts of other creatures. And yeah, there's conflict in the story, there's turmoil, and there's a lot of like smaller arcs and character arcs that are really good. I think what Travis does really well in this novel is that all the characters instantly feel very lovable. They help out the protagonist with building the coffee shop, and they kind of all have their own little quirks, and they're not, I wouldn't say they're overly in depth, but I think that just kind of plays into the wholesome nature of the novel. It's just a fun little read, nothing too serious. Yeah, I would recommend it to everybody. There's a small love interest, but it's really tame. And yeah, I mean, I used to be a barista, so I thought this kind of scratched that itch of fantasies have a coffee shop. It was really cool. So yeah, that was the first book I read in the middle of February, and then I immediately picked up Mistborn. This is actually a reread for me. It's been 4 or 5 years since I've read it, by Brandon Sanderson, and or I guess you should say The Final Empire, Mistborn, whatever it's called now. Most people know the premise, but if you don't, it's this evil ruler that's been ruling for 1,000 years, and it's following Vin, who's kind of like a small-time thief, rogue type individual, and she does lots of little jobs, and she has kind of like a unique ability that she doesn't quite understand, but people see her as like a good luck charm, and a bigger crew discovers her and decides to take her under and train her up and discover some mysteries. And I think everybody knows now Brandon Sanderson is amazing at foreshadowing and throwing little tidbits in there to I guess I should say he when he writes, there's no, I would say, wasted plots. There's everything kind of has a purpose for when it's in there, and so something small in the beginning will have like a big reveal at the end, and he does a phenomenal job at that. Really enticing characters. I guess you could say the main character is Kelsier, but I really think it's Vin's novel, and obviously, like, I think the second one is about Vin, but yeah. And then this is the book I am currently reading, called The Will of the Many. This is a newer, pretty popular book. I don't know when it came out, but it's by James Islington. It has like a ancient Greek, ancient Roman setting, and yeah, it's about this guy. His name is Vis, and he is taken in by a senator almost, or like a higher tier individual, like class ranking individual, and kind of uses him as I guess like an infiltrator to try and gather info in this academy to try and solve a murder and discover some other mysteries that are going on. Is really good book. I've never read anything by James, but super good. I don't have a whole lot to say about it. I'm only about a third of the way through, but I like it quite a bit. The only issue I have with it is the main character seems a little too capable at times for what he is, but ultimately it's pretty good. Yeah, I would recommend it to anybody. I'm in my closet right now just to see the sound quality and see if the sound deafening helps out a little bit. But I basically wanted to chime in if you didn't notice the 3 books that I've read, well, reading. So the 2 books I've read and the 1 book I'm currently reading, they all have very similar protagonist names. There's Viv from the Legends and Lattes, then there's Vin in Mistborn, and then there's Vis in The Will of the Many. I just thought that was kind of funny. They're all kind of sound the same. Not intentional at all. And then that kind of wraps up what I have read and what I'm currently reading. I did just Fire of Silence on Libby, so I started that. I'm only 1 chapter in. I don't know. I'm not a fast reader, so I don't know if I'll be able to finish it in the time frame, but I know that one's supposed to be a really popular sci-fi series that I've seen gain a lot of interest, and I'm kind of interested in. But I think what I kind of want to do is go back to the basics, go back to what started everything for my interest in reading. And I showed my copy of Eragon in the last video. It's very tattered, very used. I've read it multiple times. I've never actually finished the series. I know I've read Eldest and I was partway through Bazinga. Honestly, I remember little to nothing about the sequels. I've read this multiple times and I know it pretty thoroughly, but it's been quite a while since I've read it. So I want to go through the whole series again, kind of establish my baseline for what got me into this series, and just kind of branch out from there. I'm not a big fan of creating a TBR. I'm sure I probably will at some point, but my interest is very like, ooh, new shiny object, or like very ADHD. And so I will jump around from wanting to read one series to another while I'm currently reading a different series, you know? So I think I'm more so just once I finish a book, whatever catches my interest next, that's what I'm going to pick up. And Eragon is definitely going to be one that I'm going to reread, and hopefully reread the whole series. I don't have Inheritance or Murtaugh or the other little collection of short stories, but I know Christopher Paolini is been putting out a lot of stuff, and he's been criticized for having pretty derivative works, if I said that right. You know, Eragon falling pretty closely to the Star Wars, and some Lord of the Rings, saying it's a pretty close, but I think obviously a lot of people are picking up now so many books and movies, and any media takes influence from other media. Sometimes it's pretty spot on, like similar plot points, and sometimes it's pretty different. But I mean, there's so many other novels out there that even take Eragon for inspiration in some of their books, and so I don't really see a problem with that. He was very young when he came out with it, and from what I understand, like, yeah, it's not wholly original, but nothing really is. The prose is pretty simple, it's pretty clean, and it's not overly complex. It doesn't feel pretentious. And yeah, from what I understand, his other sequels it just get better and better and better. So really excited, really see where it goes. And then once I finish this series, then I'll kind of branch off and explore some of the other big names in the genre. I am currently listening to The Shadow Rising by Robert Jordan, and that one's really good. I was a little worried for a while that the first 3 books that I listened to I wasn't super, I mean, they were good for sure, but I wasn't like jaw awestruck and like, this is my series. A lot of people were saying that number 4 is like, if you're not really into it by then maybe it's not your thing. And so I was kind of worried that going into it, I was like, maybe this is not for me. And it's like, I've heard so many good things and really wanted like this big, grand, epic story to fall in love with. But I really feel like a lot of things are becoming more fleshed out, and I'm caring for a lot more of the characters. Some of them I find kind of annoying, but I mean, with so many characters in a series like that, you're bound to find some that are annoying or some that you don't really connect well with. But other than that, I think that kind of wraps up what I wanted to talk about. And thanks to everybody for watching and listening to me ramble on and say a lot of ums and uhs. And yeah, I hope to be producing more videos here, maybe just about once a week. But thanks for chiming in, guys. Have a good one.